Habari, karibu. Greetings, friends, dear comrades. Uh, Today I want to say something that is very crucial on how the Chinese is going to conquer Africa. And this is a very tactical that Chinese is going to use. Africa, we are talking about Africa uniting. That it means that in order to we Africans to unite, we need to have a common language. And many people suggest that Swahili must be a common language for Africans. Today we have seen that the Chinese have started teaching Mandarin in our schools, in our universities. In Africa, we are in the continental free trade area. If you look the block of Africa, or if you look at the continent of Africa, we are divided into several languages. And these languages make us difficult to communicate. For instance, there's some countries who is French speaking. It is difficult for them to speak English. So it is difficult for French speaking country to communicate with the Portuguese speaking country. It is difficult for the country who is speaking English to communicate with the country that is speaking Portuguese or speaking Arabic. So you see how Africa we are divided. So the Chinese have seen this opportunity that they need to teach African people their language as the European did before. That's why you see they have sponsoring people to go to China. They are sponsoring Chinese teacher to come to teach Mandarin. And the Chinese has changed their policy of birth. Before 10 years ago, 15, the Chinese has a policy of having one child. Today, the Chinese has a policy of having 2 children. So the second child is going to come or to live in Africa. Why? They have preparing the environment so that when this second child come to Africa, there will be ready environment of language. So there's no language barrier because already Africans starting speaking Mandarin or Chinese. So the second child who is coming from China to live in Africa will have has a good environment that is already prepared, because the language it will not be difficult for them to communicate with the people of Africa. That's why you see the Chinese are using those tactics and those strategies. And Africa, we are talking about Swahili to be our common language. So how we can say Africa we need to have a common language which is Swahili. At the same time, we teach our children Mandarin. We teach our children or our people Chinese. So it looks like after 20 years to come, many Africans will start speaking many people will speaking more Chinese than Swahili. So Swahili will be eliminated slowly by slowly. And in the business, because the Chinese are more populated, or there are more people of Chinese. So if they come here and plus the people who are already taught Chinese, so if you combine those people, we find that so the second child who is coming to Africa has already prepared the environment of communication. So because already Africans taught Chinese, and the Chinese who are coming as a second child, will be easier for them to communicate. So when we go to this free continental free trade area, so the Chinese, it will be easier to do business more than the African to do the business. And remember that African, we are not the producer. We don't have enough industries. We are only a raw material producer. So the Chinese will come and they will do the business and will get the benefit. Africa will remain the main producer of raw material, and I'm sure if we continue and if we don't be vigilant, Africa will be colonized easily by the Chinese. And if you take a look at the population of Chinese, the Chinese is about 1.4 billion people. So if you take a half of the Chinese, who is the second child, to come to Africa, it means there will be more people who are speaking Chinese in Africa than other language in Africa. So it means the Chinese will dominate, or this Chinese language will dominate our language. And those dream of having a common language, which is Swahili, will be distracted. And our idea of having common language will never complete. And after maybe 50 years to come, Africa, our common language will be Chinese, and it will be easy to be conquered. If Africa we are serious, we need to make sure that we have a common language, we have a common currency, we have a common judiciary, and one government. And something that make Africa difficult is to unite. First of all, is language and the ideology. Let's forget about the ideology. Let us come to the language. And that's why you say now people are talking narratives about Swahili. People saying Swahili is Arabic. That's not the truth. Swahili is African language. So that's why you see the people, it is very easy to learn Chinese than Swahili, because in their minds they have been taught that Swahili is Arabic language. But Swahili is African language. And we Africans we need something from outside. When you talk about African to learn Swahili, the people say, this is a local language. I want to learn maybe Chinese. I want to learn English. I want to learn French, Portuguese. So you see how our mind undermines our mission or our vision. Our vision is, or mission is, to unite Africa. So we can't unite Africa by using other language. We need to have our common language. So Africa, we need to be vigilant. And these Chinese will come, and this is a tactic. I'm telling you the truth. You will see, maybe in my lifetime, or not in my lifetime, but the Chinese are using these opportunities. They know they have huge population, and they know how they will do to make sure that they dominate Africa. And Africa is the only continent that is remaining with the resources, remaining with fresh water, remain with horrible land. So Africa, there's a scramble for Africa. So that's why now the Chinese starting create infrastructure. This infrastructure is not for Africans. This infrastructure also will help them to reach to the point where they want to reach. We think that this, even during colonial time, the railway has been built, the bridge has been built, but this bridge and railways and roads are there to transport the raw material from Africa to the ports and to transfer those raw material to Europe, in the industry of Europe. That's why Europe grown in industry sector. So that's the main thing that Africa we need to know. And Africa we need to be vigilant. So when we are talking about having common language, we are talking about Swahili. So Africa, we need to understand that the Swahili is our common language. And let us, starting, if you are in diaspora, you are in Africa, starting to learn Swahili. Because if you don't be careful, we'll be forced to learn Mandarin. We'll be starting to learn Chinese, because they own the business. So when it's come to business, Africa Continental Free Trade Area, it will be difficult for we Africans to communicate, to do business, because some of the people have language barrier. As I said, if you go to school, if you African child birth starting with mother language, which is tribal language, then if you go to school, you taught either English or French. And if you grown up to go to university, you'll be taught Chinese, or you'll be taught Chinese or Mandarin. So you see, you have three languages. You are local language or traditional language. You have school language, that is English or French or Portuguese, and you have business language, that is Mandarin. So here there's no Swahili. So it means Swahili will be going to be removed in these business languages, in school languages, and in home language. So you see how the Chinese is going to tackle. The Chinese are targeting in business language. That's why they teach a Mandarin in universities. They teach Mandarin in schools, so that it will be easy for the Chinese who will come to conquer Africa. It will be easy for them to communicate with the people of Africa. And we Africans, we need to make sure that we emphasize the people to speak Swahili, to learn Swahili, so that we can have a common language, and it will be easier for we to unite. So that's why I said, in order for Africa to unite, we need to have a common language. That's not only my word or my vision. Everyone thinks so. Have you heard Julius Selomalema speaking that Swahili is a common language that can unite Africa, and Swahili is a Bantu language. So all in all, friends, we must be vigilant, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share our video. Thank you.